Here it is, that moment you've all been waiting for. We all have gifts to give to the world. Do you know what yours are? Are you ready to make so much money you don't know what to do with it? Are you ready to have the best relationships with the ones closest to you? Can you handle the happiness and success? Hold on tight, because you're tuned in to Momentum Media's Success Talk with your favorite host, Ryan Durden.
All right, cool. So we're here with Audrey Scully. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you come from, how you grew up, and what it was like for you.
Yes, I was actually born in Singapore, and I left Singapore on my 5th birthday. So I actually got on the ship to come to England. Okay. We came to England because Singapore was getting their independence, and I think some of my family were here. Okay. So lived in a couple of areas around England, a couple of towns, and we finally settled in Sheffield, the steel city of the world. Okay. Not anymore. So Sheffield's been my hometown since 6 years old, and I really love it here. I'm present. I am a coach. Okay. I help people with confidence and with abundance. And I have set up I'm just branding a new brand called Joy is the Key. Nice. So my purpose is to bring joy and happiness into people's lives so they can make their life, a better, happier life, and also live the purpose that they're meant to live as well. That's awesome. So what does success mean to you? Success, to me personally, success means just to help other people, just to empower them so they can then raise their their level of happiness. And if money comes along with that as well, that's fantastic. Yeah. But yeah, it's just to get out there. My aim is to get out, to be bigger now, have a bigger outreach, and to help more people. And how long have you been coaching for? I have been coaching for about unofficially. I've been coaching for about 5 years. So I've just decided to make it to do it officially, because I'm a therapist. So I do massage, chi reflexology, reconnective healing, Reiki, and we do the coaching. The coaching comes as part of that. Yeah. And then I'm also doing it out of that with family and friends. Yeah. So I'm just like, no, now I've got to do this. Take this forward and go with it. And what are some of the tactics that you use while coaching? So you coach confidence and abundance. How do you coach that? Yeah, it's getting to find out where people's limiting beliefs are, and finding where the core is of their lack of confidence. Yeah. And most of the time it's something that someone said, or when they were little. Yeah. So a lot of people, it's like a teacher said, like, you'll never make it. I mean, you look at so many, famous people, and like Oprah Winfrey, was told that she'd never be a good commentator. She'd never, do the business, and now she's doing it. That's it. And we tend to remember the negative things that people tell us rather than the good things. Like, going back in my head, I can remember that one person that told me that I wasn't going to be good enough, and that's always stuck with me. So I think that's a really good motivation, but it's just the way that you look at it. So different perspectives. So that's pretty much what you teach, is how to look at the right perspective. Am I right? This is it. Yeah, I'm teaching people to look at life and look at things and look at your worries and concerns from a different perspective. And I mean, if you hadn't have been told that, you wouldn't be where you are now, probably. And luckily you took that and said, like, no, I'm going to prove them wrong. Right. A lot of people would say no and believe it, and that's where you get the people with the lack of confidence, because they're taking that on board, and they're believing it, and it's a case of like, no, actually, that's not you. Right. You are more powerful than that. You are better than that.
Yeah.
And it's helping them to believe in themselves and to have that self love, that self-belief.
Right. So what's some of the tactics that you use to kind of build people's confidence up?
I do a lot of energetic work. So I get them. So the look in the mirror. I'm sure you've heard that one. Look in the mirror. Say, I love you. You are beautiful. You are really gorgeous. You're really confident. So tips like that. Yeah. But also I do energetic work. So I help them to work on their chakras. So are you aware of the chakras? I'm sure you are.
I don't know what the chakras are. No. Tell me more.
Yeah. Well, chakras are your energy centers in your body.
Okay.
And they're just not just the a lot of people work on 7 energy centers. There are a lot more than that. And what they do is they are your access to the universal energies. So what we have around us, and it goes through our bodies, even though we're not aware, is the universal energies come down through our head and all the way down through out of our feet. Right. And then the earth energies come up through our feet. There's a point in the bottom of our feet called, in acupressure, it's called kidney 1. And that is the point where the Taoists, the Chinese, say that the energy of the earth comes into our feet. Oh, okay. And being aware of the chakras. So basically, chakras are energy that comes. It's like a vortex, and they come in behind you and out of the front, except for the ones that come up and down. Okay. So if you can imagine, bang in the middle of your head here is where your third eye is. You've heard of your third eye? Yeah. Cool. So from the middle there, you would have a vortex going out and a vortex going behind. Right. And this vortex, if it's not flowing properly, if it's blocked in any way, then that affects you. Right. So you could be, being depressed. You could be anxious, worrying about stuff that compresses the energy. Right. And then you're not allowed to, you're not able to function properly. Right. So as well, and it affects you, obviously, with your on a physiological level as well as an emotional level and a mental level and a spiritual level.
So it's like the law of attraction, and just in more sciencey words.
Yeah, the law of attractions. Yeah, it encompasses this. Yeah. But what I do, how I help people, is I help them to cleanse the chakra and energize it with the universal energies and the earth energies. Okay. And it's just beautiful to watch and to see and to do. So you don't necessarily have to see it. And I get people to imagine that there's a flower. So I could actually do it. Are you good at visualizing?
I am. I visualize every day.
Fantastic. Right. So I want you to imagine that in the middle of your head, so it's behind your eyes and between your ears, is a flower. Okay. Okay. And I want you to tell me if the flower is open, closed, dull, or bright.
It's opening. It's
opening.
It's opening.
Fantastic.
So it's like this, and it's kind of going down.
Yeah, fantastic. And how are you feeling as that's happening?
Good. Watching it grow.
Yeah. Fantastic. So what's happening there is I'm enabling you to open your third eye. Okay. So initially it was closed. Yeah. So you might probably be able to see lots more stuff now that it's open, but it's also your intuition as well. So you'll get, you'll probably receive a lot more intuition. Yeah. So each chakra relates to different things. And then your self-belief, your self-confidence is your, what they call the solar plexus. I'm not sure if you've heard of solar plexus.
I've heard of them, but I'm not too familiar.
Yeah. So that's, if I can just raise up. So that's just below here, just below your rib cage. Okay. And probably with people who've got really low self-confidence, that will be probably really small and closed. And sometimes people can't even see their chakras, you know. And I know, I mean, I'm not very good at visualizing, so you know, I just said to you, can you see a flower? And straight away you could.
Yeah.
I have to think that there's one there. So yeah, so there's a lot of people who can't see.
It had color. It was orange.
Was it? Yeah. Oh,
fantastic. So that was awesome. That was pretty
yeah. So for people who can't see, I get them to think, and just think that it's happening, because just thinking, even though you can't see, still works.
Right.
And then when you're getting that energy flowing through top to bottom, and people they physically look like they've grown.
Right.
And then you can just see they're glowing, and even they say like, oh my God, I feel like I'm massive.
Yeah.
So my mission is to help people to understand this, and to understand and to that we are more than just the physical, and that there's a lot more to us. And when we access the non-physical side of us, wow, you're going places.
Yeah.
It's just like, to me, you know, when I probably came across this, learned about this about 10, 20, 15 years ago.
Okay.
And it's still blowing my mind what I'm finding out, what I'm learning.
What kind of drove you towards that, like learning about like the spiritual side of us? What was it that that made you just start wanting to learn?
Go that way. Yeah. Well, my father had always told me a couple of things of my grandmother. Now, she died when he was 17, and they were in a Japanese prisoner of war camp in Malaya.
Okay. And
he actually said to us that she could see people after they transitioned, after they died.
Right.
And so that was the only thing that he told me. And then he actually said that when she was dying, 3 days before she died, she said to him, I'll be dead in 3 days. So she knew.
Yeah.
So that's the only two things I remember about her.
Yeah.
And then and I'd heard, you know, then I started hearing things about, like, you know, you come on the planet to learn things, and then if you don't learn all your lessons, you have to come back again, and all these sorts of things. So right, really? Yeah. And it wasn't until I was 40, and a friend of mine died, and she was having healing from a healer, and I asked this healer to come because I was having a bit of back trouble, and I didn't know what healing was about. So she came, but she wouldn't take any money. And then she said, I actually can communicate with people on the other side. So anyway, cut a long story short, I went to where she was working because she wouldn't take any money. And I went to this psychic research place, and my friend's husband was with me. And this woman on stage came to him and gave him information from his wife. Yeah. So I've always believed that, you know, obviously from what my dad's told me. Yeah. Yeah. So the best thing was, though, she looked at me and she said, because she was saying to him, you know, you don't know me, do you? You've never met me before. And he's going like, no. She said, so I don't know anything about your wife. Yeah. And this is to let you know that, you know, they don't, when people go, that's not it, they carry on. Yeah. And then she said, it's not about whether you can find someone. And she looked at me, because while she was telling him this from the stage, I'm thinking in my head, I wonder if she could tell me if I'd meet anybody. Yeah. And she picked it up. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
That's funny.
Well, so anyway, fast forward to a couple of years later, and my dad dies the day before my birthday. So that's like in November. And in February, it was like somebody was pushing me to go back to this place, because I'd sort of like stopped, you know, I went for a little bit and then I stopped. And anyway, I did go, and I went with a friend from work. And I'd been told in my head that this person, this woman, she was like, we were in this canteen and she was sat somewhere else, and I'd been told that I had to be closer to her than I was. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? You know, who are you? Who's talking to me? And so she came with me to this spiritist, to the psychic research place. And this same woman who was there at the beginning was there doing the platform. And she came to my friend and gave her messages and said she'd be sitting in circles and whatever. And anyway, at the end of that session, they said, the main woman said, oh, there's a woman coming to talk about spiritualism. So I'm like, well, I go because I have no idea what it's about, what, you know.
Yeah.
And anyway, so we went and my friend came. So I asked this woman who was taking the class, how do you get in circles? And she explained, and she goes, you'll be sitting in circles. You're very psychic. You'll be working hard for spirit. And I'm going like, me, psychic? Are you joking? What?
Wow.
So my friend, you know, I said to my friend, I only asked that for you. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the afternoon, we like sat in this circle, and she got a lady in the middle and gave her healing. And while she was giving her healing, my hands got on fire. And I'm like, my hands are on fire. Yeah. And my friends were like, yeah, so are mine. And we got the healing energies.
Wow.
We got the healing energies. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So when I went back to work, I'm like, let me put this on you. Let me.
Yeah. So
and that's sort of like how I came into all this.
Right. And so since then, like, have you learned to like really channel your abilities at all? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I at first I was just trying it on people.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went and I wanted to do a course, a college course, and I found that they had a 1-day reflexology training.
Oh, okay.
So I went there. So anyway, so that's how I learned to do reflexology. Then I did the Reiki and etc.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just blows my mind. It just blows my. Even I've been doing this for 20 years,
mm-hmm.
and the other last week, which is phenomenal. No word of a lie. I've had 2 people come to see me
mm-hmm.
In agony, back pain, this and the other.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did, they walked out with no pain.
Mm.
And the reason they walked out with no pain was because I got them to release the pain, the emotional trauma that they were holding in their body. Mm. So one had a car accident 10 years ago and was having all this, what's it called? Sciatica.
Okay.
Pain. She said, oh, I have that all the time. And then she had some other pain somewhere else. And she'd actually just fallen down the day before and scraped all her leg. So I'd given her some cream to put on. And when I'd done that, even the pain in her leg from the day before had gone. Yeah. And I was just like, oh my goodness. Oh, wow. No pain. Yeah. And the man, he had a major bust up with his partner at Christmas. Mm-hmm. And what I did, I got him to focus on that and just released it from his body.
Yeah.
Because when things happen to us, it registers in our cells.
Yeah.
And if we don't release the emotion, it will come out physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually.
Yeah. A lot of people, how do you do that? Because I know for me, like, I like to hold things in a lot. Like, I don't, how would you?
Would you like to be my client?
That was a good but yeah, how would you release that? Like, I know
I get you to do it.
Yeah.
So what I do is I get you to focus. I get you to think about whatever, and then I ask you to tell me where you're feeling in your body, and then I go through a process, tell you what to do, what to say, and then release it, let it go. It's so simple, so simple, so powerful. Yeah. So amazing. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people don't like to look at the confrontation and face the confrontation. So
but the beauty is, I mean, a lot of people go to counseling, don't they?
Yeah. And
you have to sit there and you have to talk about it. Yeah. You have to get in that, go in there. But the way I do it is you just think about it, and at that time it will really upset you.
Yeah.
But it will be released and gone in minutes, So you're not having to go back like the counselling for weeks and weeks on end, living it, feeling it, going through it all.
Right.
Yeah.
And so does this work with like getting through like family member going, like, dying and like a career change and things like that? Could you use this kind of technique to kind of help you get through that kind of stuff as well?
Yeah. Anything at all. Anything else. Awesome. I'm a bugger, really, because somebody will say something and I'm like, I can help you get rid of that. Do you want me to release that?
Yeah.
And we're like, what?
That's funny.
Like my family, they'll know I'm weird, so that's fine. I love it.
We're all weird.
But yeah, no. But the thing is, it's so simple, and people aren't aware of it, and they just want to go to the doctors and get a pill and see if that will help, you know. And a lot of the time, we could save the NHS, you know, in England, could save the NHS so much money if people, you know, came to us, or if they invested in us to help people instead of, you know, going down the either cut it out or take tablets to, you know.
We have.
And I'm not knocking, because you know, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the NHS, because I nearly died when I was 20.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
What was that story?
Pardon?
What was that story? What happened there?
Right. Okay. You know the law of attraction. Right, this is mega, right? Okay. The law of attraction is when you think of something, you create it. Okay. Right. This is, I can't believe I'm doing this on live. What happened was, when I was 13, right, I started my periods. And this is the law of attraction bit, right? And I can remember thinking, have I got to have this for the rest of my life? Can I not have it till I'm 20 and then have done? All right, so bear that in mind. 20 years old, 30th of January, I have my child. I have my child, an hour after I start hemorrhaging. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they take me for a scrape. 7 o'clock at night, they say, we've got to take your womb out. Right, so I've had a baby, a scrape, and they're taking my womb out in one day. The thing was, when they told me that, I felt so sorry for my mother-in-law. Yeah, because I thought that poor woman can't have any more grandchildren. That's what I thought. And this tear came down my eye for her. And afterwards I'm thinking, why did I think that? Why didn't I think about my mother? And, you know, and then somebody says to me, why didn't you think about yourself? And I'm like, oh, yeah.
That person.
I was fine. So 20 years old, no more periods.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Cool. And so
that is mega manifesting.
Mega. That's pretty cool.
So I've decided to stay around a bit longer and annoy everyone.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I know. It's just like, and I knew that. I thought, oh my goodness, I said this at 13. You know. So the law of attraction. Oh yeah,
it came through, and it didn't come through right when you wanted it to, but it came.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not necessarily how you'd like it to. But you know, when you're aware of the law of attraction and that you are creating, and you think of like what's happened and what you have created, and it's just like whoa. But then to have the awareness that you can do it, so then you can manifest. And even, you know, like now the things I've manifested, it's just been unbelievable. And well, I'm going to say not necessarily material things, but just little small things. Like the other day, I was like driving home from a client, and I'm thinking, I've not eaten, and I'm really hungry, and I don't want a takeaway. I'm going to have a cereal because I hadn't been shopping. And I thought, I just want a hot meal, a home cooked meal. That's what I want, a home cooked meal. And I came home, I went to make my cereal, knock on the door, next door neighbour. Oh, we've just cooked meat and potato pie. Do you want some?
Yeah. You deserved that meal that night.
I know. So, it's the manifesting. I'm just like, thank you, God.
So what do you have to say? Because there's a lot of people that are just don't have the belief of the law of attraction, or the belief that any of this stuff is real. Like, what would you have to say to them?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you believe.
Right.
You know, it happens. I mean, I'm sure if they think, actually, I thought of that, this is what I wanted, and I got it, and it came. And some of the times it will come, you know, in the least, like you say, not how you even imagine it would come.
Right.
But you get it.
Right.
So you don't have to believe. And
it goes the same for if you're not aware of it and you have these negative thoughts all the time, like that's what you're going to manifest, is those negative things. You know?
The thing is, right, the thoughts that we think, everything's energy.
Yeah.
Right? If you're thinking these negative thoughts, they've got their own vibration.
Right.
And their vibration is very low.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're thinking these negative thoughts, that vibration, that's what you're radiating.
Right.
That's what you're sending out.
Right.
If you're sending that out, law of attraction sends you the same back. Oh, you want that? I'll send you some more.
Right.
I'll send you some more.
Right.
So this is what I do. I get people to, that's why I say people to be more joyful, more happier, even if it's for a short time, so they can raise their vibration, can raise that level, you know, high and can't talk. So reach a level where they can attract better things.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that is key. I know for a fact that your words really, people don't realize how powerful your words are. I'll just give you an example. I worked somewhere, and this woman, the office I worked in had this big pipe going up in the middle. So there was this wall in the middle, and this woman came in the door, and I was sat here looking at the wall. My desk was facing the wall. She was behind me, and there was a lad round the corner sat in the office, and she hated this lad, and she came in and she just spouted forth all this horrible stuff.
Yeah.
And this is no word of a lie, I felt 6 daggers in my back. It just went, and I was just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And when she went, I said to him, I said, I don't know what you got, but I just got 6 daggers in my back, and it wasn't even aimed at me. You know.
Yeah.
And I went and I told her, I said, just be careful what you're saying, because you are affecting innocent people.
Yeah.
And by all your negativity, you're going to get really ill. And she ended up with multiple sclerosis.
Oh man.
I know. Yeah. She was so bitter. She was just so bitter.
Yeah.
You know? I know. And this is what I'm saying. You know, your power, your thoughts, so powerful.
Yeah.
And like I say, I've helped so many people to live a better life because they're changing the perspective, because they're valuing themselves, and they're starting to believe in themselves and having the confidence as well. Right. And I'm not the only one. There are, like, you know, hundreds of thousands of people out there who could help you, you know. And
do you have any like specific book that you would recommend to anybody, like your favorite book on this subject?
Yeah, well, actually, The Power of Now is a very good book, right?
Yeah.
Because, and that is very hard to do, is about focusing on the now, focusing on the now, and thinking, okay, what is my life like now? So there's a lot of people worry about, you know, oh, I haven't got the money, I haven't, you know, and I've done that in the past. I'm like, oh, next week I've not got many clients, my bank balance, blah, blah, blah. But then the week comes and I just get full of clients.
Right.
But just thinking like, but what I do is I think, okay, stop doing that. Where am I now? What's in my bank? What's happening? Who's with me?
Right.
And then suddenly all that goes. Yeah. So that is another form of self-healing as well.
Yeah, for sure.
It's self-healing. Yeah. Yeah.
Thinking now, not looking towards the future too much, but planning, but not stressing over the future, not looking back in the past. Yeah. And stressing over the past stuff too. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Because the only moment you can affect is now. You can't change the past. You can't really change the future.
Exactly.
But you can affect, you know, how you're feeling now. And that is the essence. It's just tapping into like how you're feeling at this moment. And if you're not feeling happy, what can you do to make yourself happy? What I say to a lot of people is, you know, think of something that makes you upset, makes you worried, right? So if you want to do that, just if you can think of somebody or something that is upsetting you or has upset you, right? And how are you feeling as you're thinking about them? Yeah.
Let down.
Yeah. Cool. Now think of somebody or something that really makes you happy, that, you know, so doing something or being with somebody that really makes you happy. Yeah. Yeah. So how are you feeling now?
Proud.
Exactly. And how quick did you go from feeling let down to being proud?
Very quick.
Exactly. And you can do it so easily. That's you can flip. Sometimes it takes a bit longer to get there. If you keep doing it, it'll, you can just do it so quickly, be able to do it so quickly.
For sure. Well, cool. Well, where can everybody find you? I mean, you have a lot of information, and I think that people will definitely find a lot of value in what you do. Do you have like a website or?
Yes. Yeah. So my website is www.joyisthekey.co.uk. And I'm on Facebook as Audrey Scully. I have 2 pages. One is Joy is the Key, and one is Purity Natural Healing.
Awesome. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
My Facebook page is I'm laid on a chaise long. I'm laid on this big long couch.
Living the good life.
Oh, yes.
That's what it's about. Cool. So one more thing. If you could leave the world with your message, just one message, what would that message be?
Be joyful.
Be joyful.
I love it.
I love it.
Being joyful means being loved. Being love.
Yeah, being loved.
Yeah.
Giving love and receiving love.
Giving and receiving.
Yeah, that's it.
Just being.
For sure.
Radiating it. Radiate your joy.
That's it.
Radiate your love.
That's it. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm going to put all of your information in the link. I'll send you the link with the podcast and the YouTube video as well. But other than that, I hope you have the best day ever. And,
thank you, Ryan. And you know where I am when you want healing.
Yeah, for sure. It will definitely stay connected. So.
Thank you.
All right, Audrey. It was good talking.
Remember, joy is the key.
Joy is the key. That's it.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be on here.
Thank you
Bless
too.
You.
So much. Bye.
Bye.